Goeiemorgen, good morning, kia ora. For the Capetonians away, can everybody hear me on the other side? Let me just see that quickly this morning. They're popping up here, Vili, good morning, Marlies, goeiemorgen, Werner and Vanessa, hi. Hi. Guys, looks like we've got liftoff, and let's start it off with the normal. My name is Viljoen. I'm all the way from Welcome Bay in Tauranga in the North Island of New Zealand. It's a lovely morning. If I look out here, rain has stopped. We had a bit of rain here. And it's a beautiful morning going out there. A bit dark still, but the sun is rising every morning earlier. We just greet a few other people. Away, Sean. Good morning, Jane, Renier, Willie, Johan. All right, people can hear me. It looks like that. All right, let's go on. I'm a financial advisor. I work from home on both islands, and I'm in the game where we help people with life insurance and disability, dreaded diseases, and we add cover for income protectors. We help them with their wills, and in case of something bad happens with them, we hold their hand in that process. Guys, what I promised to talk about this morning is not about myself, but a bit more about what happens 3 weeks before and after arriving in New Zealand. So this is the part where I just want to take a step back and say 3 weeks before you should have already applied for your work visa or your residence, whatever you're coming on over. You must have all your paperwork ready by now. There's no 3 weeks before the time. It's a bit late to fall back and to say, wait, I still need a passport and stuff like that. And 3 weeks before the time, you should actually know which town in New Zealand you will be coming to. So, all right, you are in that position where you have your passports, you have all your paperwork ready, your visas is nearly ready to be issued or have been issued. I probably would think have been issued would be a better thing. So now you're ready to book your flights. Point one, you got to book your flights which suits your pocket the best. I know there's a lot of gurus saying flying direct. I have flown direct with Qantas. A bit of older aeroplanes, but not too bad. I've seen other people who flew over Singapore, Dubai, a bit of a longer flight, but it looks like they all survived and came to New Zealand at the end of the day, because that's the end destination here. By now, 3 weeks before the time, you're still in South Africa. Now you must start to open your New Zealand bank account. This is quite important. If you still don't have any links on that, I think I have shared something like that. If you don't have, just ask me again on the group. I'll share all the links again to you. Then you must open your Real Me account if you haven't opened that already. Sometimes you need to open the Real Me account with the application of your visas to show that it's really you. Then now you must get ready for your IRD number. Why I say get ready for your IRD number? IRD number is quick. You'll get an IRD number within, I would say, 4 to 5 working days, basically. So you can apply once you are in New Zealand, but bring your South African FICA with you. South African FICA is going to be used for probably the IRD number, or the Real Me account will be used for the IRD number, but your South African FICA. Now, let me just take a step back for people who don't know what FICA is. FICA is the Financial Intelligence Center Act, that is stating where you live. You must have proof of that. So it's for people who want to wash their money. I don't have that amount of money, but people want to wash their money sometimes. Money gained by illicit means, which means naughty money. So if you've got naughty money under the bed there, there's real ways to bring it over, but don't bring that very naughty money over. So your South African FICA will include stuff like your current address where you are living. It could be either a municipality account, could be your telecom account, any of your cell phone accounts, anything that can prove where you live. And it can also be internet. An account by internet. People get stuff over the internet, and they get their accounts on the internet. They don't get post anymore. So yeah, bring that with you, because your bank in New Zealand is going to ask for that, and that is proof of where you have been living. Then another thing you must get your immigration medicals. Once you've done your medicals, you must ask them to send that medicals to you. send it and print it out and bring that with. That's quite important. If you need anything else here, if you've got any problems medically wise, go to your doctor. Go and get all of that detail. For instance, with my heart problems, I brought all the doctor's results and all the test results, as well as the path lab. Well, the path lab, sorry for that. All the path lab stuff I brought with me. That's just an easier way to prove what is wrong with me and what they have already done with me. It stops a lot of confusion when you come to New Zealand. If you tell them, oh, you've got a heart problem, now they've got to start looking for what type of problem you've got. While you have all of these paperwork, you put it down there. They take 10 minutes to read through that and they know exactly what's wrong with you. Even if there's nothing wrong with you, just get your immigration medicals here. If, for instance, any of the insurance company needs to have a look at what they need to do while they are underwriting you, they can always refer back to this immigration medicals. And the other point is you've already paid about 3,500 rand for that, so just bring it with. It is yours. By now, about 2 weeks before the time you can start transferring your money to New Zealand, the money and the way that we use to transfer money from South Africa to New Zealand, that takes about a week, about 5 working days roughly. Last time on a Saturday I placed money over to my account in South Africa, or from my one account in South Africa, my FNB account in South Africa to my Bidvest account, and from there on they started the process to put it down in New Zealand, and by Thursday it was here. So the cost was about $30, but that was on the New Zealand side that they charged me for that. And then another thing you got to bring, which is quite important, is bring your South African driver's license. Just don't chuck it out of the door and say, I can have this, but bring that with. The reason why you bring a South African driver's license is you can use it in New Zealand. Don't get an international license. It's a waste of time and money. Once you have your South African driver's license, you can walk into any place and just transfer it. I'll talk about that now. That's about 3 weeks before the time, and as time comes by, I think it's time that you greet your friends. You will always find that you don't have enough time to greet everybody. It's quite hectic these last, especially the last week. It just goes by, whoop, and it's gone. And suddenly you find yourself standing on an ice cold airport and thinking, am I doing the right thing? Because that's what will be going through your mind a lot. It's, am I doing the right thing? Especially the last 3 weeks. Goes through your mind a heck of a lot of time. Am I really doing the right thing? Every time you say goodbye to somebody and there's a heck of a lot of tears, you think, am I doing the right thing? I see a question from Dominique Tillahunt, says, can we still request for the medicals if it was done last month already? You can request it months down the line. You can still request it. They just email it to you. It's as easy as that. If at any time you think back and think, am I doing the right thing? Or is this really this necessary? You've got to take a step back in your own mind and go back to the reason why you started this whole process. I mean, immigration, as I always say, is not for sissies. Immigration is one of the most difficult things you'll ever do in your life. And you will get times that your own mind question your actions. Let's be quite frank. Especially when our things didn't come through. And it took us about 18 months delayed in South Africa with all the problems we had. We thought eventually, wasn't this a sign from above that we're not supposed to leave this country, blah, blah, blah. And then suddenly it dawns on you, why have you started this whole process? Why? And once you can answer that again back in your mind, you change your mind and make yourself ready to come over as well. Guys, then you get on your airplane and you get in the sky, and a few hours, sometimes a few days later, you are only in New Zealand. Now you get off onto New Zealand on the airport here in Auckland, or I see some people can fly directly to Christchurch these days. So wherever you arrive in New Zealand, you'll see how clean it is. You'll get all these new sights and smells and people that you see around you, and everything is wow. And then suddenly it strikes you, jet lag. Jet lag is one of those illnesses that you get after flying against or towards the east and the west. As they say, east is beast and west is best and so on, but you're flying east. So you'll be hitting jet lag, or jet lag will be hitting you quite hard. The best way for jet lag is once you get on the airplane and they tell you to sleep, try and sleep. I know not everybody can sleep if they if I can say on demand, but once they close down the blinds, you'll see when you come over, they close down the blinds, they tell you it's night in New Zealand, it's time for you to sleep. Now they're trying to get your body ready for jet lag, basically. So if they tell you to sleep, try and sleep. Get that in. Once you are in New Zealand and it's day here, try to stay awake, or force yourself, not try, force yourself to stay awake. It's quite important. Force yourself to stay awake, and that night go and sleep. If you wake up during the night, it's because your body clock is totally out. It did happen to all of us. It happened to my son as well, and he just kept to the flow. If his body told him to wake up, he woke up. And it took him 3 weeks to get over the jet lag. So, yeah, but he is over jet lag now, and it's actually, we are all doing very well on this side in New Zealand. Some people get over jet lag within a day or two. Why people are different, I really can't tell you, but one of those things you'll see is and you'll remember that Jan said jet lag is a bad thing. You will hit jet lag here. Now, once this jet lag has worn off, or if you can think clearly, once you're in New Zealand, you need to go to your chosen bank, whatever bank that is. You need to go into there. You need to activate your account. There's no other way to explain this to you. You just go to the nearest branch, walk in there and say, hi, here I am. This is me. This is my passport. They'll look at your passport. Then they'll take your figure. They'll probably then make an appointment for you to see one of their, what they call overseas staff. Now, the overseas staff is trained to work with migrants. And once you sit down with that bank guy will try and sell you everything that the bank has. Keep this in mind. These bank people in New Zealand is really good salesmen. They try to sell everything. They'll try and sell it, even stuff that you don't need, like KiwiSaver. As if you arrive without residence, you're not allowed to have KiwiSaver, but the bank will try and sell you KiwiSaver. They will try and sell you life insurance. And normally banks only have one product that they support. So they'll try and sell you that bank product as hard as they can. And it's your right to say no. But being a bank, they will still try. Even now, if I go into the bank just to change something on any of my accounts, I've got about 4 accounts, and if I go in the bank, they still try and sell me. Even if I tell them, man, I sell life insurance, they will try and sell me life insurance. But that's just the bank. So go in there, activate your account. They will give you a temporary card, a temporary bank card, and then they will send you your new bank card to your place of residence within about a week's time, sir. And then you just got to check and see that that card does work. It happened with us the other day that we got a new card and the card didn't work. I still don't know what went wrong, but I just went back into the bank and said, card doesn't work, and quick, it was sorted out. Now you got to get your IRD number. Quite important that you get your IRD number before you get your first paycheck. Otherwise, you'll be charged on migrant taxes, which is quite high, and you lose about half your salary to that. As soon as you got your IRD number, then you're ready, you work ready, you can go on. Then you take your time and go to the AA. You'll need about 15 minutes. Then they'll convert your South African license into a New Zealand license. Yep, 15 minutes, not half a day. They do everything there. You no need for specialized eye test. You walk up to the counter, you just fill in a little form, walk up to the counter, give you South African license, do your eye test on the counter. They do it right in front of where you are there. And that is 15 minutes later, you got a New Zealand driver's license. Now you've got your bank account open, you got your IRD number, you got your New Zealand driver's license. And then you probably can start looking for buying cars, or whatever else you need to do. If you want to rent a car for the first part, do that. Otherwise, walk into any place and buy a car. It's very easy. I think we waited about 30 minutes on a Sunday to get the car registered. That's how quick it is here. There's no strange things about that. So, alright, that's about 3 weeks before and 3 weeks after. Let's take a few questions from people and see what questions there are. Sean Lange asked, how long does it take to recover from jet lag, more or less? I would say average of between 3 to 5 days if you stick to your routines in the new country. When the sun shines, you are awake. If it's dark, you go to sleep. It's the most important thing to do. It's the only way to get around jet lag. Jet lag makes you feel as if your head is this big. and yeah, that's not a very nice feeling. It makes you a bit dof in the kop, if you got my meaning there. So for the English people, I don't know what dof in the kop is, but probably feel like not all the lights are on there. Anybody got any questions? Anything else? We arrived the 13th August in Wellington. What is the first most important thing to sort out immediately? I think the first most important thing is go outside and smell the fresh air and say, wow, I've made it to New Zealand. Then thereafter, I think, go and activate your bank account, because you can walk around and use your FNB or Hapsa or Nedbank cards here in New Zealand if you've arranged before the time, but that is expensive money, because you pay for the fees being used up and down. Where do you get your IRD number from? IRD from Dean Smith. IRDs, you get it from IRD. Sorry about that. You do an online thing. It's totally online, and if you can't come right online, you can go into the post offices here and they can just sort it out for you from there. It's a very quick way around. An IRD number is your tax number in New Zealand. It's like your SARS number, but you need one in New Zealand. Then if we ask about bank fees, bank fees is cheap. You can either pay nothing, or you can pay about $10 a month, but not more than that. If they want to charge you for your first year, you just tell them you can get it cheaper somewhere else. They'll probably just waive the fees. That's what we did. Are the Japanese imported cars worth looking at? Yep. I have bought Japanese imported cars, and it's really worth it. The kilometers is low and the year models is a bit high. So you can buy 2007, 2008 now with about 30 or 40,000 kilometers on. So on the part of Japanese imported cars, great cars, they bring them over from Japan, and it's probably one of the most affordable ways to buy a car. I won't say it's all up to your own how you feel about vehicles, but don't buy your European cars down here. If anything really goes wrong with those cars, you wait forever to get parts out here. What if you don't have a rental address yet? Can I collect bank cards from the branch? Yes, you can do that. We gave them we had friends here, and we gave them their address, and they just send you to the friend's address. So, what are your thoughts on the new post about residency? Guys, this is a real thing. If your residency gives you the chance, or if your work visa now gives you the chance to get residency, you probably will get it. But the longer you wait, the more they are closing down these borders, and they're closing it slowly. This is one thing. They haven't made a big fanfare. They haven't put it on the news anywhere. But what we see is now they issue the same amount of residencies in 18 months, which you normally used to issue in 12 months. So you can catch the drift of the government there. They are closing down the border, slowly but surely. And the longer you wait, the more difficult it is going to be. And we've now seen an influx of people getting 1-year visas here. So you can probably think that they do not want those people really in the country. They're giving them a visa and they can send them home within the year. What bank is the best? I would say any of the bigger banks, the ANZ, BNZ, Westpac. I myself is with Westpac and BNZ. ASB is also a great bank, but they don't have that large amount of banks all over the country. Also less tellers. The smaller ones like Kiwi Bank, they're all over, but they are very limited to New Zealand. TSB is also there, but I don't know they're 100% the correct bank to be with. I think for a startup, go with one of the 3 big ones. It's just as easy as doing it that way around. Yolanda van der Merwe, can we do the IRD online application in ZA already? I don't know. Personally, I've never done it that way myself. I've done it while I was here. But I think you probably would be. It's an internet thing. So, Viljoen says cars very cheap in New Zealand. Yep, they are cheap in New Zealand. Really cheap. You can buy a car in a decent, it won't be a Porsche or something like that, but you can buy a decent car here for about $2,500. Something that will get you from point A to point B, and we take it slow from point A to point B here, so 80 kilometers an hour to 100 kilometers an hour. That is the speed we drive in New Zealand, and we stick to that. We don't like people going way over the speed limit, because the police are always out there looking for people that does that. So let me see what other questions there are. We have opened our account at ANZ. How do I deposit funds from SA into the account? Battling with a SWIFT code. Yolandi Smith, what I'm going to do is after this, I'm going to post another link to a company I use in South Africa. They open your account and they just pull the money over for you from South Africa to your bank account. They're cheap and you get a better rate than you would do it from bank to bank. So how does credit scoring coming from SA work when you arrive in New Zealand? Do you start on a clean slate? You do start on a clean slate and you start over at the bottom. But it takes about 3 months to work up your credit rating. When I arrived here, I wanted to buy my cars on a credit card. I wanted to put my cash into the credit card because the credit card gives you some air points, which is that you can use for flights. And I thought, geez, I'm going to buy 3 cars. I can just as well get a lot of air points, but it took them so long just to give me a credit card. And it's not a big credit card. I got a $500 credit card. It took them, I think it's 3 or 4 weeks just to give me that credit card. So by the time they eventually gave me the credit card, because I had no credit score, it was too late. I had to buy the cars in that time. But anyway, if I come over on an essential skill work visa, will they consider me for residency when it's time to apply? I don't know. I'm not an immigration advisor. You should basically speak to either immigration advisor or immigration on these type of questions. When does one qualify for KiwiSaver? You only qualify for KiwiSaver, although you can get it. You qualify for KiwiSaver once you are a resident or a citizen in New Zealand. A lot of the work will just give you a KiwiSaver and there you go, and then about 3 to 6 months down the line, you'll see there's a large amount of money in your bank, and that is when IRD finds out you've got a KiwiSaver but you're not a resident. They'll pay the money back into your account. I'll take a morning and explain to all of you what KiwiSaver is all about, and it's actually a very great thing. It's a nice thing. It's one way to get a lot of money out of government. So, Renita Clark is in Wellington, day 3. Welcome, Renita. I'll make contact with you, but guys, a bit later today as well. What is the best cell phone network to be on your local calls and data? You get Vodafone, which is quite a big one. Then you get about a heap of other ones. Spark is another good one. Most of the networks here is not shabby at all. You sometimes lose a network, especially on where you live as well. And just have a look at where you're living and see what is the network around there. I had to move between the network that I was on to a different network just because where I was staying at that stage, the last tower didn't reach my whole house. So I had reception in a part of the house, but the rest of the house had no reception. How quick can you rent a house? How quick can you have your money here? That's as easy as that. If they accept you and they like South Africans, so whenever you're renting, this is just a tip that I give you guys here. Whenever you're renting and you see the agent, go up to the agent and tell them you are from South Africa. They like South Africans here. They know that we have mostly owned our own houses in South Africa, and we normally look after houses here. There has been 1 or 2 incidents where South Africans have not looked at houses, but on average we look well after houses. At what point can you buy a house? As soon as you've got enough money or you've got a very good deposit. Deposits ranging from 5% to 20%. And basically, once you are just out of your work visa, once you're on residence, you can start your application process. It's called the IOI process. But I have explained this in a previous video. But we'll go back there one day. Can I have a medical done and come across on a visitor's visa, find work, and then convert the visa to a work visa? Will the medicals be recognized? You probably can do it that way around, but it's like many medicals in New Zealand is actually cheaper than in South Africa. That's one thing, but it's doing it basically the wrong way around. How do you explain to immigration that you've done medicals for work visa? It just doesn't gel. Okay, you catch my drift there. Is the KiwiSaver like an RA? That comes from Natasha. Natasha, very much. You also get about $520 per year that the government gives you to add to your KiwiSaver if you've done the minimum contribution, which means minimum contribution is about $100 a month. That's about $1,200 over the period of time, and they give you $500 That's about a 50% growth on your KiwiSaver. You can't beat that. So that's why I say it's a very good thing. KiwiSaver can also be withdrawn once you buy your first house, or that's after 3 years. If you buy your first house, that can be withdrawn, and at age 65 you get it all as a lump sum tax free. So Felix Fourie asked, sent me an email. Alright, Felix, I'll drop my email address, or I'll just pop you one later. If you have an email, I can't see the whole message there. Liesel Nal, do you need residency to buy a house, or can you do it before? You can do it before, but it's a heck of a story to do it before. Best is to wait for residency, and you can get residency within 3 months after coming here. So, Felix says, thanks, no problem, mate. On a work to residence visa, how long do you have to be in New Zealand to apply for residency? I don't know. Immigration will help you there. Alida Robinson says that they asked my husband for new blood tests, so probably have done the medicals before the time. Besides a passport, how do I get my Kiwi personal number? Clyde Mars, I'm a bit confused on what Kiwi personal number you're talking about. Liesel Nell, how do you need an IRD number if you do not work? No, you really don't need an IRD number if you don't work, but the other way around is get it and get it done. It's a free thing, and you just get it. Once you have a job, or get into a job, or find something that you can do with a job, then you are ready to work on that. Alayan, can we come over on a job offer? Yep, without a job offer. Yep, you can do that. It's called visitor's visa. Quite a lot of people come over on visitors visas, and they then start looking for work. So that's a different way of approaching the stuff in New Zealand, and then have a chance to see what New Zealand is all about, and probably have a chance to see if you can find a job here. But just remember, you're not the only person doing that. There's a lot of people doing that. So any other questions before we got to say hi and goodbye? Let's quickly talk about the weather. As you can see, I'm in short sleeves here. It has been really nice this past, I would say, when I say about a week. It has been quite cold. It has been quite cold, and it has heated up a bit, actually. We're about 17, 18 for the day now, so that's not too bad. I've really quickly asked, Jan, do you know what the cost or extra cost of medical for dentist cover? Dentist cover is quite expensive on your medical or on your health covers. I could work up anything about $100 per person, and then they only cover some stuff. They don't cover everything on dentist. But there is dentists that allow you to go to them, and then they allow you to repay them over 3 or 6 months or so. Does everything work on my passport? That's from Clyde. Clyde, everything work on your passport until you have your New Zealand driver's license. Once you have your New Zealand driver's license, then you can use your New Zealand driver's license for everything. Yeah, basically everything. They don't no queries anymore. My passport's been somewhere in the cupboard. The wife knows where. How difficult is it starting a business like an aftercare service? Do you need special permits? To start a business is quite easy. It takes you about 30 minutes, or about, let's say, half a day for everything. I've got a bookkeeper down, I'm not too far from Tauranga, that can do that type of stuff. But what you need for permits and stuff on aftercares, I don't know. But I know aftercare is big business here in New Zealand. So how do you think immigrants will look like November next year? I have thought about that as well. And I think immigration is taking the stance that we want to close down the borders a bit, and we want to close it down without telling everybody. So I think in the long run, immigration is slowly but surely bringing the gates together and saying we're going to close the gates. I don't think they'll close it totally. We'll always need new people, but I think they're going to be more specific on who they need. So keep that in mind. If you think about coming, I can't see that there's any other time more ripe and ready than now. So when your job contract expires 21 September, what does that mean? Do you need to be there, or is that the start date? When your job contract expires, I don't know. Please don't forget to post the link above for the money transfer. I'll do that. What are the chances of not getting residence after 2 or so years on a work visa? Felix, I think from startup you must come with the right attitude and the right work visa, so you can get residence. If you are in that process, if you are on a work visa where you can't get residence, you are not going to get residence. I can promise you that they're not going to make changes just because you are on that work visa. Get the right work visa, get the right job. That's why immigration advisors are great people to work with. And we've got somebody on the page here called Vanita Herbens, ex-South African, and she's brought thousands of South Africans already over in the past, I don't know how many years, I think 20 years that she's been doing this. So keep that in mind if you need an immigration official or advisor. She's somebody that can really help you out there. Or if you want to, pick up the phone, you call Immigration New Zealand. They've got a 24-hour number, so there's no need to say you've got to get up in the middle of your night. You can get up in the middle of their night and they'll still answer the phones this side. And you can ask all of these residency questions straight to them. Are you allowed to look for a job on a visitor's visa and only then get the work visa? Yep, you are allowed to do that. We've had, I see that's my own sister asking me that difficult questions here this morning. We actually have a son-in-law here and he just found a job yesterday. He's quite chuffed about that. It was quite a difficult process for him to go through, as his job is, there is jobs for him, but not that much in his field. So after a heck of a lot of interviews, he eventually got a job there. That all happened yesterday. That's why the guys who are on my personal Facebook page would see me eating ribs yesterday. Will you be able to get more info regarding the new residency post and then do a video about that next week maybe? I'm waiting for some feedback on Vanita. Vanita will give us some feedback on this as soon as we've got all the right answers out there. I don't want to give answers and then it's the wrong ones. Guys, and half an hour has come and gone. It's time to tell you again who I am, because that's what pays the lights. My name is Viljoen from Welcome Bay, New Zealand, Tauranga, North Island. I'm a financial advisor, not an immigration advisor. I'm a financial advisor. I help people with all their financial stuff, bringing money over, financial immigration. We actually got a massive deal on financial immigration, under 10,000 Rand, under 10,000 Rand for the whole family to financially immigrate. I'll post that as well for you. But when you arrive in New Zealand, get me to give you some quotes on life cover, disability, income protectors, and then we help you with wills. We give free wills to all of our clients. So, at that time of the morning, lovely morning outside, you guys are going to sleep, we're going to work, and time for me to say love you and leave you, and see you next Wednesday evening or Thursday morning if you are in New Zealand already. Thanks, guys.